Hi guys. So if you've been following along on our GAPS journey, I want to recap days 3 through 5. Guys, 3 through 5, my kids would not eat for me. They would not eat. Ben and Ava definitely had it the worst. They were just laying around on the couch, super lethargic. They just refused. They were on strike. They figured all of their bananas were gone, all of their sugar was gone. They were on strike. They have eaten this food before, like a lot. We were basically whole foods before we went on this diet. So they've had chicken, they've had lots of vegetables, they've had bone broth, and they love it. So needless to say, I was frustrated. I was so frustrated with them because I knew they were hungry. I knew, I'm trying to heal them, trying to heal their guts with this protocol, and they are not participating. And I was so frustrated. But you guys, I spend all day in the kitchen, all day. One day I tracked it. I think it was the 5th day. I spent 5 hours in the kitchen. Not even joking you, 5 hours in the kitchen. And then we had dinner. And then I had to clean up from dinner. So those 5 hours weren't the hour and a half of like trying to get kids to eat food, and not like, the 45 minutes afterwards cleaning up after making food. It has been so frustrating. So the poop, it's not been good. So Isabel on day 5 finally took a big poop. Finally. I wrote it on the calendar. I put her little eye and circled it, and that is how I'm going to keep track of people's poops in this family, because I have to. Because what if just people don't poop and I forget to track it? I need to know if my kids are pooping or not. So it's been a little slow around here, but finally things have started moving a little bit better. We've really started using the sauerkraut juice, and Ben, it had been like over a week since he pooped. So I'm like, okay, he's got to have a bowel movement. So I put a bunch of sauerkraut juice in his bone broth, like a bunch, like probably a third of a cup or a fourth of a cup. It was quite a bit. And he drank that, and finally he was able to have a bowel movement. The cool thing is though, you guys, it was soft. Like, it was a soft movement. We've not seen a soft bowel movement from Ben the whole time I've known him. For 2 years now, he has pooped about once a week, once every 7 days, 10 days, and it has been hard as rock and huge and so painful. So that is a win right there. I'm spending a lot of time in the kitchen, but Ben has a soft poop. So Aaron and I have actually been feeling pretty good. Low energy, tired, and a little bit lethargic, but overall pretty well. Like, no nausea, no vomiting for us. It's been okay. Obviously, like, we were lower carbs. Like, we haven't been eating rice, we haven't been eating gluten-free noodles, and that was kind of a staple throughout the week. But I'm just clear, like, emotionally and mentally. I feel like my head is clear. So I don't know if that's lower carb or less toxins. It's not that I have a ton of energy, but I feel clear. If there have been a lot of dull headaches from Aaron and I, just like on and off, and like you kind of notice them and you're like, oh, my head does hurt. I'm guessing that's from sugar withdrawal and coffee withdrawal. So yeah, I should have stopped coffee a long time ago, but I just couldn't do it. But so on day 2, later in day 2, I finally realized something about this diet that I should have known a long time ago. The GAPS diet is not a low carb diet. This is not keto. This is not where we're counting carbs and trying to get everybody low carb. It's not. It has nothing to do with carbs. So, with the kids with the vomiting, day for the first night, I realize now that we've been a little bit too low carb. And for me, like the lethargic, I'm just not eating enough carbs. Like the other day, I tried to go to sleep and I just laid in bed, like staring at the ceiling, could not sleep. And I realized, I know that was a symptom of low blood sugar. So I got up and I had some butternut squash cubes that we roasted and had in the fridge for just snacks. And that worked pretty well for me. And then I was able to bring my sugars up enough and sleep. But I don't know how I didn't understand that this was not low carb. So this is not low carb. So now I'm really trying to beef up our like butternut squash, spaghetti squash, carrots, onions, all those things that have a lot of carbs in them, because we can't cut sugar and cut grains and cut carbs all at the same time. We might die, because we've been trying that for a few days. So yeah, so we're going to try to boost up the carbs a little bit. So days 3 through 5, a couple things that we found, 3 little things that I found that worked really well for our family. One is the butternut squash cubes that I talked about. If you roast them in the oven, they are so delicious, and you just have to roast them like super soft. But then you can just, you cut them into squares, into cubes, and you roast them, and they're so sweet and delicious. And I just keep those in the fridge. And like if we run an errand, we can take them with them. The second thing that my family did love, and the kids ate a few of these, were the meatballs from Health, Home, and Happiness. She has like this 30-day intro guide, and she has lots of recipes on it, and it's amazing. If you're going to do GAPS, you should go buy that recipe book. But she had this recipe for meatballs, and it had like butternut squash and I think mushrooms in it too. They were really good. My kids loved them. They ate a few of those. And then the third thing that I have been loving is the ginger honey tea. So I make a big thermos of like a little piece of ginger and then quite a bit of honey because I love honey, and then some apple cider vinegar. And I'm not sure if apple cider vinegar is okay yet, but it's delicious in the tea. So I just like make a big thermos of that and sip on it all day, and it's so good. And sometimes, you guys, that's all I have. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I can look forward to a piece of chocolate in the freezer or a glass of wine at night. I just have my ginger tea, and it's delicious. Yeah. So you guys, days 3 through 5 is such an intense time for us that I was just searching the internet high and low for any other stories about any other families that have gone through this, and there was nothing. So if anybody else is going through this like we did, please share, because I just want to encourage people that people are actually doing this, and that people survived, and that you can do it and you can persevere. So share your stories. Okay, thanks for watching.